Hello folks, this is your friendly neighborhood production manager here at 98.5 CKWR. Most of you know who I am, but if you don't, hello. There's my hand. I am doing a quick video tutorial this morning or today, whenever this is, whenever you get a chance to listen, on Audacity, the basics of Audacity. And that most of you have computers at home and stuff that you might want to record with, that sort of thing. The reason why you're not seeing my face right now is that it's, well, there. That's why. It's more of a face for radio. In any case, what we've got this morning is Audacity. And with Audacity, which you can see right here, if you download it, it is a free download, and you can Google it, or I believe it's audacity.com, whatever. It's that. So basically just give it a startup, and there it is. Now what you'll see is a couple of things. You'll see your buttons along the top here. Pretty basic stuff for a Windows program, not too out of the ordinary in any case. So here's the microphone that I'm going to be using to check it out. Now, as for microphones, pretty much any good microphone, not a cheap one, not a dollar store one, or I bought a $20 microphone off of Amazon, and it works a treat. Dorothea uses it, and I've used it on occasion. In any case, so basically this is getting back to Audacity. Audacity is the program that we use here at the station, and probably some of you have either seen it or used it before. So basically on this one, it's to record your voice. All you have to do is swing this around here, is click on the record button right here, and you can see right now that it is recording. It's recording my voice as we do this right now, and you can see it's coming up on the screen. Now this is the great thing about this particular program, and you may or may want to utilize that, is it's a multi-track program, and I'll get into that in just a second. So I will stop my recording by pressing the stop button, and as you can see there, it's all nicely done that way, and you can see where it's recorded, and you can hear it back just simply by pressing space bar, taking your cursor back to the start of the screen, and as we do this right now, there we go, and you can see it's coming up on the screen. Now this is the great thing about this particular program, and you may or may want to utilize that, is it's a multi-track program, and I'll get into that in just a second. So I will stop. So you don't need to hear me pressing the stop button. You don't really need me to hear all of that. But there's your basics on how to record the first part. Let's say for example. Now, if you're like me, and who wouldn't want to be, you might want to put a piece of music off the beginning of your show, for example. So let's say for example, you want to, we'll find something on here. In this case, we want to go up to File, and you'll look down and you'll see Import, and you want to import, audio. And in this case, you're going to want to import audio off of the desktop, or wherever your, let's say, your opening is. So let's see here. There we go. We got something born on that day. So let's stick with desktop. And bring that in, born on that day. All right, we're going to load it up. It's going to take a few seconds because it's like a 4-minute piece. Now, you'll probably only want a couple of seconds off of that for an opening tune or whatever. Or you can just go right into it. It doesn't matter. But I'm just showing you how to do this as an opening for for your show, in case you have one. And again, that's import. I'll show you that again. Import. Import audio. There we go. And again, you can see it right there, what we just imported. All right, let's say, for example, you only want the first. It's actually a good start. All right, so let's say, for example, I only want the first couple of seconds. I'm going to zoom in here, get you a closer look. So let's take that. Actually, what we want to do is, since we just like that first part of the opening, I'm just going to do that, and we're going to cut off that first bit. We go back, and we look at it here, and we go. Nice start there. Okay, I want to, well, just for example, I just want to get it before it starts that that singing. So we just do a little bit of this. Okay. So let's say I just want to cut that off. Again, go to the little snip button, or you can go to edit, and it actually says cut. But there's a little pair of scissors up at the top corner there. You can see it. You just use that, and it cuts it off. And then I want to fade it down so that it... And then in this case, you go to Effect, which is up at the top, up here. You can see where my cursor is, and you can see that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff, but the thing you want to look for mainly in this case is Fade Out. Gives you a quick fade out, and that's all it does. Like you select where you want to fade it out. You can see that here, and then I selected Effect, Fade Out. And you see it did it again, but it did it even more. So now you see that you've got your opening all set up there. Okay. Next thing you're going to want to do is unmute your vocal track to start. And there's a little thing I really like on this particular, on Audacity, and that's this thing here. It's, I don't know what they call it, time shift tool. Select that, and you can grab the track, your audio track or your vocal track, and you can slide it forward and set it up exactly where you want it. Another thing you might want to do is sort of shorten your tracks as well. That gives you more time to look. All right, so you've got your basic setup here, your music on the bottom, and your music on the bottom and your vocal on the top. So press play. There's your opening music, as you can hear. And here, and you can see right now that it is recording. It's recording my voice. And there you go. You heard it fade down. And you can see it's coming up on the screen. Now this is the great thing about this particular. And that gives you pretty much the basics on how to record something and have an opening and have your show go through. Now you can do the same thing with music in this case as well if you want a tune to play. So in this case, there are a couple of ways you can do this. One way, of course, is to import another audio for this case. Well, you know what? Let's bring in that same piece of music again. And again, importing takes a little bit of time. Let it take time. And you can relax, have a coffee or something. Not in the studio, though. All right, there's your music again. Now, in this case, you're going to want to put it at the end of your, and you can see that's the end of your first vocal, and that's probably where you've said, oh, this is where we want to start the music, or this is what's coming up. So again, use that time shift tool and do this. Shift your music over. Now, there's a neat thing you can do as well, is you can move the music up and put it in the same track while you're clicking and dragging. Yeah, that's one thing you need to do. And like I said, it's a great little feature on this program. So you can, let's say you want to move it up to there. And there's your, and you can get rid of that empty track. Just saves you from doing extra stuff. So basically you've got a vocal track on top. You got a music track on the bottom here. So you can see this. I'll get into that in just a second. So I will stop my recording by pressing the stop button. And there we go. Music's starting. And away you go. Now, once that's done, you've got an opening. You've got your opening. You've got, like I said, you've got your opening. You've got your first intro. Then you got your first piece of music. Now, once you're done with that, you go to the end, and you can basically just either drop the next track in at the very end, or the next piece of music, or whatever, or you can just, you know what? I'm going to try something here. Something I haven't tried before. And that is, if I hit record, does it start recording from the point where I punch this? We'll see. Actually, it does. So this is a good thing. So let's say you're done your music track and you want to record the next bit. Basically, what you do is what I just did. You put the cursor on the end of the music track or whatever, and you start recording. And you hit that record button up there, and it will start from the very point that you actually placed the cursor, which is nice, because then that really saves time. Now, what you can do here is you can record your voice as you would normally for your show, and then when you're done, you hit the stop button. It's up here. Done, and then go back. And in this case, you don't really have to mute the tracks, but you might want to do this. Go to that lovely slide function, grab it, take it up to the first audio track, eliminate the other audio track, and you've got something now that's at the end of your. So as you're going to listen here, music's coming to an end. And actually, it does. So this is a good thing. And there you go. You can actually see, and you can actually see how that all works. So basically, it's just get yourself down to 2 tracks, record what you can, and do it that way. Now, when you're done your show, let's say, for example, you're completely done, and now you wanted to save your show. So in this case, you'll want to go back up to File, select File, and in this case, go to Export. And you'll see it listed there. You hit Export, and in this case, let's just call it, in this case, Test Show number 1. And you see it there, and you hit Save. Now something's going to come up, and this is only if you want to tag your show. It's only used in certain cases where, like for my show, for example, I also podcast mine on the Apple Music and iTunes. So it's a podcast that way. You don't have to do that. In this case, all you have to do is just hit OK, and you'll see it's saving. Now it's going to take a few seconds to save here. And you can see it there. You know, it'll take about 37 seconds to save. So in the meantime, I'm going to let you know that this is a really simple program, again, like I said, called Audacity. And you can find it with a quick Google search, or, you know, even like I said, I believe it's Audacity, either .com or .org. I think it's .org in this case. But check it out. Okay, now it's exported but not saved. So now in this case, yeah, you've exported the file to, and I don't remember where I put it, but here we go. So if you actually want to save the project, then you'll want to go to Save Project. Now this is different than exporting. This just saves the data so that you can call it up later and if you want to make some changes. So you want to go to Save Project, and we'll call it the same thing. We'll call it Test Show Number 1. We'll save it because it's a completely different, and it does it really quick. And then, in this case, you'll want to say, you're done, and you close it off. And let's see, there it is. You can actually see the data up there, Test Show Number 1. And you can see there's actually a folder called Test Data. And up the top of that, you can actually see the show, the MP3 that we just recorded. Now, there's something silly on this that some people may run into. There is without getting into technical terms, there's something called a codex that you need to download when you download Audacity. It's something that you can actually turn your shows into MP3s as opposed to turning them into just waves. Waves are huge. An hour-long show, for example, can be up to 1.3 gigabytes. That's huge. The test show that I saved is only only 9.9 megabytes, which is a much smaller file and much easier to send over let's say, a WeTransfer or something like that. So that's kind of how that works. And you can call this up, click on it, and you can see there's the show, all good to go. Here, and you can see right now that it is recording. It's recording my voice as we do this right now, and you can see it's coming up on the screen. Now, this is the great thing about this particular program, and you may or may want to, and you've already heard that, so you know what it is, and it will call up whatever. It won't necessarily be Winamp, but it'll be something that's on your computer if you're using it from home. And that is the basics of how to record your show from home. The very basics. I could go into more detail. There is obviously stuff that you can do to refine, but that's not what this video is for. This video is essentially for the idea of putting your shows as quickly as you can onto a format that you can send into the station. And by the way, best way to send it in, even if you have to leave it as a wave, 1.3 gigs, you can still upload those to WeTransfer or most file transfer sites. WeTransfer is what I like to use because it seems to work the best for the computers here at the station. So that's that. If you have any questions in regards to how this all works, by all means, you can call me at the station. You can also email me at rdaniels@ckwr.com and ask me more questions in regards to that. So that's the basics. That's how you basically record and export a show. It's a bit of a complicated process if you're not used to it, but it's fairly straightforward if you are.
So that's all for now. And you know what? I'm out of here.